Hello and welcome to my second video where I'm going to show the new HESH rounds from update 1.75 and how they work. For this test I will use the RU251, the M50 Ontos and also the British F3405. Hello and welcome to my RU251, which I got in a sale. But for this demonstration I will use this HESH round right here. So, how do the new rounds work? Well, in the last patch, HESH rounds work like big HE rounds. They basically hit and exploded in all directions. But now, the HESH rounds will hit and the shrapnel inside the tank will go in the direction of the armor plate. So, if this works, as you saw, most of the shrapnel went to the left instead of just straight forward and down. So this will make it a lot harder to, well, kill stuff outright in one shot, unless you can hit stuff like the crew. And, well, this thing is in a way. So let's see if we can... If we shoot here, for example, the shrapnel should go down. Yeah. And the T95 over here tested this yesterday, I believe. And if you hit the cupola on top, hit shrapnel down into the crew. Yeah. As you see, it's super easy to kill crew with this, but it's harder to get a ammo rack with HESH now. So, and this is the weakest 102mm penetration, but as you see, if you hit sides or weak spots or like the cupolas on some tanks, where the shrapnel can go down into the tank because of the armor plate is flat, as you see, it goes back and down. So yeah. That's the RU251's HESH. And now over to an M50. Welcome back to my M50 Ontos, where I'm going to use the 152mm penetration M36 1A1 round. And as you see, all the stats here. So, I don't have any tanks which use the 127mm penetration, so this will do. So let's see if I can hit on the cupola. As you see, it's super effective. And if I hit straight on, you see that it hits the ammo, but it doesn't actually detonate. It mostly kills the crew. And if you shoot at the same spot, it won't do much. So here's a Tiger 2. It should be able to penetrate the turret. And as you see, the explosion is directed in the direction of the armor plate. So this will make... Okay, well, that's that. The side skirts can disrupt HESH. As you see, it's a very easy way of killing crew, and that's what you will be aiming for when using HESH. As you see. So, in the old patch, the explosion would go straight through the tank and kill everything. But in this patch, the armor is angled, so the explosion will go down into the tank. If we just wait for the kill cam to disappear. As you see, it's directed down and back because, you know, the power of the angle of the plate. And Type 74, if we hit the back of the turret, the explosion is directed forward into the tank. So this is how you will use HESH now. You will see in plate which has an angle, and then you see like the crew is somewhere in here in the middle front most often. So I can hit here. I will... Alright. As you see, I saw where the crew was, and then I found an angle which exploded into the tank and killed all the crew. And with RU-251, I hit the T-95, which is one of my favorite tanks, but it's so weak against what it can go against now in realistic battle, because of its 7.0 battle rating. So this is what's going to happen to it, if I can hit. But this tank is very hard to aim. As you see, it just outright kills all the crew. And if I can hit the other side, I think the right side is more efficient, but the left side, yeah, well, it hit enough ammo to explode it. So you can destroy ammo with this, as any ammo, it's just harder, and I would go for the crew. So yeah, that's the 152mm penetration on my M50 Ontos. Now to the big doomsday cannon of the British. Hello and welcome back to the FW 405 with a 183mm. So it penetrates 254mm with its giant HESH round, which this thing is now in this patch actually really good. And because of the previous mentioned angles of armor where the explosion is going, and also because this thing has so much explosive in it, it still acts a little bit like the old rounds where some of the explosion goes in other directions. So you will also see that when I shoot, for example, on the mouse. So, the Type 61. If I hit the cupola, it should, like, okay, this thing should probably explode through the roof anyways, but as you see, most of the shrapnel goes straight down into the tank because of the angle of this, and a little backward because it's angled in such a way. If we hit this part, you see most of the shrapnel goes in the direction of the plate. And as I said, if you shoot the mouse, this thing will penetrate this part of the deterrent mantlet, and also the roof down here, because the roof isn't as thick as you would think. So as you see, I hit the transmission and engine, and also hit the gun and the crew inside on the right side. So if we repair it, the mark is gone. Piece of shrapnel hit the T-64 over there. So yeah, shrapnel can fly quite far from this thing. Well, if we hit the bottom side of a Leopard, this would probably never happen unless someone turns over, but as you see, the shrapnel goes in the direction of the armor plate. That's actually a pretty good way to show it. In an old video I showed that the Cam Panzer 70s and the MBTs can easily be killed by this thing if you hit this optic with HESH. And as you see, steel works, and actually works much better with this round now than before. A Tiger, the so-called Big Tiger, or the King Tiger some people call it. You see, that turret is just all gone from shrapnel. And as I've done so far, I will go test this on the T-95. There it is. And yeah. So if I hit this, it should just die. Yeah. It's no coming back from that. I'm actually not sure. I would say go for the right one, but the left one seems to work too if you have a big enough. I wonder if you hit the sides, has it enough penetration? 200, it should be enough. Alright, it's because these things are just added armor. So it's extra armor on the inside. So if we hit here, it should... Yeah, this round is pretty much overkill, and now when it's buffed it's even more overkill. So just keep in mind, don't shoot on angles that are more than 30 degrees or like 70 degrees on a tank. So I don't think this is 70 degrees, I think this is 60, so this should be fine. But it's formed in such a way, so it's protected. So don't shoot HESH on stuff that are 70 degrees or more, because that probably won't work. But go for sides or cupolas or just weak spots in general, and you should be fine. And some tanks might have that special angle on the back, which will just hit and shrapnel forward and kill everything. So yeah, this is the FE405 Doom Cannon. So welcome back to the hangar. Now you've seen some clips of the new HESH rounds with 3 different shells. The RU251, which penetrate 102mm. The M50, which is over here, which penetrate 152. And the FE405, which penetrates 254. Yeah, 254. So just keep in mind when using HESH now that don't aim for like extreme angles like the front, because the penetration will go down mostly, and just, well, it might just donate the ammo, the RU251, but it won't hit most of the crew because of the angle. So it will probably kill this guy, maybe this guy because his feet are down here, but it won't kill the tank, and the RU251 will be able to shoot back. And for testing I used the TankPolygon map of the 1.71 patch, I believe, where you could see the T-64 and the Camp Hunters and so on. And yeah, that was all for me today. Thank you for coming and watching my videos.